coming up in this video, so we asked for the Paralympics ticket. But we didn't know how to get there until we met a few people at the beach a few weeks later. Hey, welcome back to another video. This month is my birthday, and I'm planning something absolutely amazing for my 30th birthday in 2 years' time, but I don't want to share it with you yet because it is not fully set yet. I'm trying to think of something to talk about this week. I know it was the Paralympics last year, but I thought that I would talk in detail about how I got the tickets and what I got up to in London for 3 days, when I saw it in 2012. I had the opportunity to go to London to see the Paralympics in 2012, because a PE teacher at my school ran with the Olympic torch. It was amazing to see the Olympic torch. Because he had the torch, he had a few tickets for the Olympics and Paralympics, so we asked for the Paralympics ticket. But we didn't know how to get there until we met a few people at the beach a few weeks later. We sat with them, and the lady and I were talking about art galleries in London as I had just gone with school for an art trip. We finished our conversation and headed to the van to head home. They walked past the van and said, "If Nicole needs anything, just contact me." So, a few weeks later, we contacted them to see how they could help us. A month later, they invited us to their house, which was in the middle of nowhere. We did get a bit lost, but we eventually found it to tell us what they had arranged for us. They had paid for our transport, hotel costs and given us some spending money, for which we were extremely grateful. We couldn't believe that they had arranged all this for us. So, Monday, 3rd of September, a taxi arrived at our house to take us all the way to London. We stopped at the service station for lunch before going to our hotel. We arrived at the Cavendish 4-star hotel and were shown to our room and settled in. We decided to walk around the block before we had tea in the restaurant at our hotel. We were a 14-minute walk from Buckingham Palace or a 4-minute walk from the Ritz. We went to our room to get an early night for our touring London day the next day. An hour of being in bed, you can't just make this up. The fire alarm went off. So we had to get me outside from the 3rd floor. My granddad carried me halfway down the stairs in my quilt, until he had to put me in my manual wheelchair, and then someone decided to help us. We were outside for an hour without an idea of what was happening. We were allowed back into the hotel. One of the lifts was broken, so the porter helped to get me up to the 1st floor to use the service lift. I think that we got back into bed at 1:30 or 2 o'clock. Turns out that one of the belts on the lift caught on fire. The next day we started the day. We headed off to Fortnum and Mason for a look round. We had to go down to the parlor to see the cheeses and try some, which is obvious as I like cheese. Then we looked around the rest of the store, which was absolutely amazing. I just want to add that it was the beginning of September, and they had their Christmas decorations on sale. Then we got on the tour bus, where we got off at Big Ben so we could go on the London Eye. That was my first time on the London Eye. This is my favorite photo of the whole time, looking out over Charing Cross Station. Then we went on the Thames for a boat tour. Here is the Tower Bridge with the Paralympics sign on it. We got back onto the tour bus to head back to the hotel for tea and an early night after the mayhem of the night before. The next day we took a taxi to the Olympic Stadium. We arrived at the stadium, showed the tickets, and we were taken to the stadium on a golf cart, which was absolutely amazing. I had to have my photo taken outside the stadium before spending the day in there watching all the events. I have a claim to fame from this day. I had the privilege of watching David Weir get the men's 1500 meters gold medal. But also it was meant to be my first day of my last year of secondary school, so because I had the tickets from school, they excused me from school. After the amazing day, we had a taxi back to the hotel to pick up our things. Then the same taxi that took us picked us up to bring us all the way back home again. If I remember correctly, we arrived home at 8 p.m. and I went to bed ready for school in the morning. Throughout the trip, we took lots of photos and collected things for a memory box, but also to show the people what we got up to and thank them for everything. However, we didn't hear from them again, which felt and still feels strange. I'm still so grateful for what they did for us. It is something that I would never forget or stop appreciating for the experience. I have really enjoyed talking about my time watching the Paralympics in 2012. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a like and maybe subscribe to stay tuned for that birthday plan. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully, I will see you next time. Bye.